Hey guys, welcome to Wendell Fishing. Darren here, and today I'm going to show you 5 tips for taking your kids fishing for the first time. This channel is for all things fishing. If you love all things fishing too, please hit that sub and bell notification, and I will keep content like this coming your way. Now let's hop in. Tip number 1. Look for worms together. Make the fishing experience not just about catching the fish. My girls and I have been looking for worms together for years. We love going out, getting out the shovel, looking under rocks, looking under the wood, and sifting and finding worms. One year we even made a worm farm together. And the best place to find worms is basically under anything damp, moist, or rotten. I've actually also heard of a way to catch worms by taking soapy water and pouring it on the ground, and about 15 to 30 minutes later, worms will pop up to the top because they are not a fan of the soapy water.
Look out for the water!
Oh, it's a lot. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Oh, put a lot in there. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. It's not an exact science.
And we will next time, Moms. Look at me.
Oh, go back where Daddy is.
Right here, honey.
Take it to where Daddy is.
Okay, Daddy.
Any come up yet? Oh, look. Here's one.
Woo! There's mine.
Oh, there's one.
Mine.
You gotta look. You gotta...
Over here. We catch them.
How'd you catch them?
Ah, ew, I want to put these down.
So there you have it. About 15 minutes of searching. We put the soap in the ground, and man, they started flying up within 15 minutes. There probably will be more if we go back in another 15 minutes, but that's a lot of bluegill right there. I saved a few dollars checking around your house. All right, tip number 2, make it a date and purchase your pole together. I did this with my girls. We made it a big deal. We were gonna go to McDonald's and Starbucks and get some hot chocolate. Dad is gonna get coffee. What kind of fish do you wanna catch today?
What?
A lot of them.
Okay.
We're gonna go in the Walmart. They can pick out their own pole, and I'll show you some video of this. And it was awesome. They were just as excited about buying the pole as they were about going fishing with Dad. They will absolutely love the one-on-one time with you. If you weren't able to find any worms or not enough worms, this is also the time to go into the back of Walmart and grab some worms. You can pick those up in a cooler, usually back by the hunting and fishing section. All right, tip number 3, leave your personal pole at home and bring your camera instead. Now, it can be stressful taking your kids fishing, and since they're new to this, you need to actually teach them all the basics. This is why I recommend you leaving your pole at home and focusing solely on your little one. Let's be honest, you're gonna be showing them how to put the worm on there and how to practice casting and how to push the button and when to let go of the button. And most importantly, you're gonna be dodging their hooks. So leave your pole at home. You're gonna have a much better time. You're not gonna be stressed out because in your mind, you were there solely for them, not for you to potentially catch a fish. There is a ton to teach your newbie, and they will love this one-on-one time with you. And the catch of the day will be that photo with your son or daughter with their first fish, and you will be right beside them. Don't bring your pole, bring a camera instead. All right, tip number 4, target bluegill. Why? Because they're the easiest to catch and the setup is really easy. If you're lucky, do a little research. I know that where I live, there's actually kids only ponds where adults cannot fish it. So they are teeming with bluegill. Before you put a hook on the end of that and let your kids start flailing it around, because they will, a lot of times these kid poles come with a little weight. Sometimes they look like a fish, and I always tie these on and let my little ones practice before I put a hook and bobber on the end of it. They'll get used to the swinging, they'll get used to the holding onto the button and swinging it and when to let go. And these are perfect. I've actually done this in the parking lot right next to the pond, just to build a little confidence in your little one. If you skip this practice step, you might become the catch of the day. Some of the kits actually come with the hooks and the whole setup, but if you buy the $10 one at Walmart, they do not. They just come with the line. So you actually need to purchase size 4 Aberdeen hooks, some split shot, and a bobber. And how you set it up is tie the hook on the end. You can use a Palomar knot. I have a bunch of knots at wendellfishing.com. You can check those out if you're completely new to this as well. You put split shot 6 inches above that and put a bobber 12 inches above that. And then you put the worm on. And the key to putting the worm on there is to hook the worm to the body 3 times, and then at the last part of it, leave the hook inside of the worm, kind of hiding it from those bluegill. Once you throw it in there, a lot of times what I'll do when my little one's not looking, I have a 3-year-old named River, I'll actually set the hook for her, and then hand her the pole to kind of build some confidence in her fishing abilities. I also have an oldest daughter, Mercy. She actually likes doing everything by herself. You have kids, you know what I mean. So she can actually set the hook all by herself, which is awesome. To find bluegill, you gotta kind of know how they operate. So bluegill like to stay really close to shore. I'm talking maybe 2, maybe 3 feet off the bank or off the end of a dock. Essentially, bluegill are bait fish, and so they are trying to find anything that can protect them from the game fish. And so any type of downed trees, any type of structure, any type of dock are gonna be perfect places to locate those bluegill. Also, keep in mind that bluegill are active typically in the morning and at dusk. It doesn't mean you can't catch them during midday, but typically they might go a little bit deeper to kind of get into that colder water. Bluegill actually eat by sight, and so they need to be able to see your bait in order to get it. So if you're not catching anything after 5 minutes, I would try a different spot. Also, do a little research. Go to the DNR, try to find a map of the pond or lake that you're going to be fishing. A lot of times the DNR will place fish attractors or fish habitats close to the docks where people are fishing. And why do they do this? It's because they want people to catch fish and have a good time. But here's the thing. If you go to the lake, you're not going to see a sign that says fish attractor here. You actually have to locate those. So do a little research, find out where those fish attractors are, and then take your little one there and slay the bluegill. Here's an example of fish attractors at a lake that I go to, so you can kind of know what you're looking for. Once you find out where they are, make sure you snap a photo in your phone so you have it in your back pocket, because when you get there, it's going to be really difficult to try to locate where those are. And tip number 5 is take lots of pictures. Since your hands will be free because you left your pole at home, take a lot of pictures, take a lot of videos. You will treasure these forever. I can't tell you how many times I see people posting photos of when they were a kid with a fish in their hand. It's just a joyful experience that you'll want to capture, and you won't be able to if you're fishing the entire time. I bet you can imagine it now. You standing next to your son or daughter holding up that prize bluegill, and it doesn't matter how big it is, it's because it was their first fish and you were there. Congratulations. Hey, if this video brought you value, please help me out and hit that like button, and I will continue to keep content like this coming your way. All right, thanks. See ya, bye.